Hi, and welcome to this intro screencast for the Crudzilla Web Application Builder. Uh, the Web Application Builder is, as the name suggests, the web development tool that runs in your browser. I'll give you a quick overview on navigation and how to get started using the product. So when you log in, you'll see something that looks like this. In terms of navigation, you really have two options. You have the app assets tab, and you have the CRUD base tab. Um, in this environment, you have two type of things that you can work on. There are items that are on the file system. That is, you know, think of say your JavaScript files, your HTML files, and things like that. Your image files. Those are under the app assets tab. Everything that you see in here is stuff that's stored on the disk. So for instance, you can open an XML file and edit it. And then you have the CRUD base. The CRUD base stores stuff that's in a database. In this environment, there's a middleware, which is really what makes it different from all the other browser-based development environments out there. The middleware is works on stuff that we call CRUDs. That's CRUD, CRUDs. That's just a name. Think of it as, similar to say, Ruby gems. Um, the CRUDs are executable files, and later on in other screencasts, I'll get into the detail of what that means. But think of them as, if you've ever done even PHP, think of them as similar to a PHP file that is executable, but it's also quite different. And again, in later screencasts, I will explain what that all means. But those things are stored in a database, and this tab is what you use to navigate the database. It has a taxonomy layer on top of the database that allows you to navigate it similar to how you would navigate a file system. And then you have your application menu here. It has a few items. Over time, it's going to have a lot more items. Think of it as a place to go for other functionality that's not specific to a file or a CRUD. And of course, here you have a simple task management tool, which is really nice. It means that you can do simple project management within the environment. You don't need a separate product to do that. You can create a new project. You can add these decks, and you can add cards to the deck. Here's an example of another project. Say you're working on a customer's website. You could have any number of projects that you want. You have simple, IDE type functionality here. Again, in other screencasts, I'll get into detail on what those mean and how you can use them. So that's, in terms of the user interface, that's the core of how you interact with the environment. It's actually